Good morning, girls. In today's Oracle session, we are going to cover some more example of um, procedure. Right? For that, we need to open our document. As you can see, up to 52, example number 52, we have done in the previous session, and I have given some exercise to do it yourself. Right? Now, covering one more example, example number 53. To create a procedure to fetch an employee detail for the entered employee number by the user. Okay, let us begin. Create or replace procedure employee detail. Here name of procedure is employee detail, and one parameter that is in mode named id in number is, and then two declaration of two variables, right? With begin keyword, we'll start our execution block. Select employee number ename into enumber ename from employee, where employee number equals to id. Whatever number will come in this variable, we're going to assign that number into employee number for fetching that particular record. Then with the help of dbms.output.putLine, we'll print the detail of that employee. Let us execute this procedure. For that, we need to open SQL window. Open it. This is our procedure, and we got the message procedure created. See, this is actual implementation of procedure. Okay, how you can use this procedure for getting some information from the tables which are stored in your database, Oracle database, right? So in this way you can do it. Now, how you can execute this procedure? I taught you two different methods in previous session. One, the first way is using exec command. Okay, employee ID 7788. This will go into the variable ID, and with the help of select statement, the Oracle server will fetch the detail of this employee through this query, right? And in the next line you can see whatever details got through this query will be printed through dbms.output.putLine. okay, and here it is. Fine. The another way is you can create one PL/SQL block for calling that procedure. Here all of you are very well aware of how to create a procedure, right? Declare ID number, begin ID equals to %id employee detail, and we are passing one value over here. Then end of this PL/SQL block, ID is again 7788, and press enter. We got the same output as the previous one, right? One more example is shown over here. Example number 54. Create a procedure that will take job title as a parameter and list out details of all employees having same job title. Here we don't know how many rows will be returned through this procedure, so for that we have to take cursor, right? Now we are going to add cursor in our procedure. This is our simple PL/SQL block with name, nothing else. It is not different than normal PL/SQL block. We are just giving a name, or we are just assigning a name to our PL/SQL block. That's it. Create or replace procedure employee detail. Here what we have to enter is we have to enter a job title, right, for getting information of all the employees who are working as that particular job. So here I have taken post name variable in mode and its data type is varchar2. Now cursor C3 is select star from employee where job equals to post. All of you are very well aware of how to define a cursor, right? Here we have done that thing. Now we want one more variable of type row type emp percent row type. Inside the begin block, we will open our cursor using open keyword, open C3, loop begin, fetch C3 into E. Now whatever detail you want to print, you can fetch through the variable E of type row type, right? Here you can see dbms output dot put line. We want to print a name on the screen as well as job on the screen. End of loop, and then we want to count total number of records fetched through this cursor. That we can do with the help of row count, right? dbms output dot put line C3% row count. Now close the cursor using close keyword, close C3, end of this procedure. Let us copy this code. Here we got the message procedure created. See here what you have to learn is only these things, 2 lines only, right? Otherwise everything is same as we have already learned in this session of cursor. You can compare this code, the selected code, with your previous examples of cursors, right? Now how to execute this procedure? It is very simple. Using exec you can execute this procedure like this. See here one more thing you have to learn is we are dealing with the string type of input parameter, right? So I have enclosed this term inside the single quotation mark. As you can observe that manager, I am going to pass a manager string that I have enclosed in single quotation mark. Okay, so whenever you deal with string data type, you have to enclose the term in a single quotation mark. Keep this thing in your mind. We got the output on the screen. 3 records we got as an output, right? Next example, create a procedure that will take department number as a parameter and list out detail of employees working in that department. Here again we will use cursor. I am giving just hint to you. Here I have used the cursor. Instead of varchar data type, we are passing a variable of type number, right? That's it, no difference. Here you can observe that I have just entered the department number instead of post. Okay, so do it yourself. In the next example, create a procedure that will take mgr code as a parameter and list out detail of all employees working under that manager. Now again this example is same as the previous 2 examples, right? This is again do it yourself, means exercise for you. I'm going to show you one more example, example number 57. Here we are going to use 2 type of variables of mixing nature, right? In and out. Create a procedure that will take employee number as one parameter, and let salary be the second parameter in out mode. The procedure will display the salary of employee for the specified employee number. If employee does not exist, display the proper error message. Okay, here we have covered error message also. So we have to add exception section. Let us create a procedure. Create or replace procedure with name employee detail. Here you can see that there are 3 variables I have defined as a parameter, namely ID, second is salary, and third one is E_NN. The data types are respectively number, and emp.ename% type. Their mode are again respectively in, out and out. We need two more variables, ENO and ENM, of type of row defined in employee table. See, employee number and E name. Begin here, begin section initialize with the begin keyword. Select employee number, ename and salary into ENO, ENM, E underscore salary from EMP, where employee number equals to ID. Whatever number we enter from the keyboard, for that number we want to find a detail of employee on the screen, right? So here our condition is where employee number equals to ID. Okay, salary equals to e-salary. We are assigning here salary is our parameter variable. Similarly, ENM is again a parameter variable. Exception section begin when no data found, when no records found with the entered number. In that case, we want to raise an exception. For that we have to handle that exception in exception section. Okay, so here I have taken exception when no data found. Then in that case we want to print a message on the screen, no such employee, right? And salary equals to 0 and ENM equals to null. In case of any other error that we are handling through the word others, when others, then dbms underscore output dot put line, just print an error, nothing else. End of procedure. Now how to call this procedure, right? So here you can see the PL/SQL block I have defined for calling that procedure through our SQL window. Start with declaration section. We need two variables, B and C. You can see the data type of both the variables, and third one more variable with name ENM is also declared. Begin section initialize with begin keyword. Here I have given one static value. You can make it dynamic by using ampersand sign, right? B equals to 7900, 7900. Employee detail B comma C comma ENM 7900. I'm going to pass this number, then C and ENM. Here I have passed three variables, but value will go for only for the first variable 7900. dbms underscore output dot put line, name is ENM, salary is this, right? So let us execute this code one by one. First procedure, we are going to compile a procedure. We got the message procedure created. Okay, now execute the PL/SQL block which will call this procedure in it. So here we have an output, name is James and salary is 1450. Now especially we have done this example for checking the exception section. So let us enter a wrong data over here. Intentionally we are generating an error. Copy this code one more time. This time if you have noticed that I have changed the value of B 790. The employee with this number does not exist in our EMP table, right? All of you are knowing very well. Copy this code. You can see the output, it is different than the previous one. No such employee exists, and we have set the name null and salary is 0. So we got appropriate error message, right? So here it is. all the blocks are covered: name block, begin block, and exception block. So this is an example of exception section in procedure. Now let us start. What is function? A function is the same program, or we can say sub program, as a procedure, except that it returns a value. See, there is a minor difference between procedure and function. Procedure does not return anything, whereas function always return one value, right? Therefore all the discussion of the previous topic are true for function also. Now how to create a function? Let us start. A standalone function is created using the create function statement. Here you can see the simplified syntax for the create or replace function statement. It is shown on the screen. Create or replace function, function name, parameter name. There are two modes of these parameters: in, out, and combined nature of mode, that is in, out. Then you can specify the type. Then we have to specify the return data type of whatever variable we want to return. Then you can use either is keyword or as keyword. Then the execution block will begin with begin keyword. End of the section. Let us see what are the parameters we have used for in this syntax. Here function name, this parameter specifies the name of function, as we have seen in the procedure. Or replace option allows the modification of an existing function. If your function is already exist, and if you want to do some changes or you want to create a new function with the same name, at that time you can write or replace. So whatever written in square brackets are optional part, you can omit this according to your need. The optional parameter list contains a name, mode, and types of the parameters. In represents the value that will be passed from outside, and out represents the parameter that will be used to return a value outside the function. Here I have to do one correction. By mistake I wrote procedure, instead of that I have to write function. Okay. The function must contain a return statement. As you can see in the syntax, here it is. Okay, it is different than procedure. The function must contain a return statement, and the return clause specify the data type you are going to return from the function to the calling function. Function body contain the executable part. The as keyword is used instead of is keyword for creating a standalone function. Here you can see the example. The following example illustrate how to create and call a standalone function. This function returns the total number of customers in the customer table. We'll use the customers table which we have created in PL/SQL variables chapter, right? As I have shown you in the previous chapter also, previous topic also. So let us take an example. Select star from customer. As you can see, there are 6 records already available in this table. Create or replace function. Here you have to specify the name of function, then parameter name, either in, out, or in, out mode. Then you have to specify the type of that parameter, right? Then return statement will come, which will specify the data type of variable which you want to return from this function to the calling function. Is or as keyword. For standalone function you can use as instead of is. Begin, then function body, and end of function name. Let us apply on employee table. Create or replace function total employee. See, here I have taken very simple example of function, right, where we have not defined a parameter list. As you can see, it has no parameters. but it has a one return value. As I explain you that return function always returns something in contrast to procedure. Create or replace function. Name of function is total employee. Return number is total number 2 equals to 0. Begin. Select count star into total from employee. This will return a total, right? Here we need one corresponding variable for returning a value of count function. Whatever value will come through this count function, that will be transferred to the total variable. This is a corresponding variable. Now return total, end of this function, and slash for executing this function. Okay, now how to call this function, right? When the above code will be executed, it will show you the output, it will produce the output function created. But how to call this function? While creating a function, you give a definition. Here we have defined a function with name total employee, but how to call this function? We give always a definition at the time of creating this function. So what the function has to do, that we specify through the definition. To use a function, we will have to call that function to perform the defined task. When a program calls a function, the program control is transferred to the calling function. A call function performs the defined task, and when its return statement is executed, or when the last end statement is reached, it returns the program control back to our main PLSQL block. To call a function, you simply need to pass the required parameters. As you can see in this current example, there are no parameters defined along with the function name, and if the function return a value, then you can store the return value. Here we have taken one simple program that calls the function total employee from an anonymous block. As all of you know that simple PLSQL block does not have any name, so it is called anonymous block. When we will compile this code or execute this code through the SQL prompt, it will produce the following output: total number of employees, right? So let us execute both the things one by one. First one is to define a function through the SQL window. Function is created. Okay, now let us call this function through our PLSQL block. Copy this code, paste it over here, and we got the total number of employees stored in our employee table, as we have done the query in our function that select star count from employee, right? We got this output through the variable total. Let us try to understand what is written in our PLSQL block. Here the PLSQL block begin with declare keyword. It has one variable defined under this title of number data type. As you can see, C is a number type of variable. Begin section begin with or initialize with begin keyword. C equals to, we have assigned the name of function. As all of you know that function always return a value, so we have to assign the function to the same data type which it will return, right? Here number is a return data type of this function, so we have to assign the total employee function to the same data type of variable. Observe the data type of C, it is also declared as a number, right? And here total is also declared as a number. So whatever value we will get through this function, that will be assigned to the variable C. Now with the help of dbms underscore output dot put line function will print the total number of employees in our PL/SQL block. Total number of employees is our static string, and we will concat the variable c with it, as you can see on the line number 5. Right, now execute your PL/SQL block and we'll get the message total number of employees. Here it is, total number of employees are 14. Let us cover one more example to clarify the concept of function. The following example demonstrates the declaration, definition and invocation of a simple PL/SQL function that computes and returns the maximum from two different values. Declare section. A, B and C, these are the three variables of type number. The definition of function: function find max, x in number and y in number, return data type is again number, is z number, will return the value of z through this function. Right, our executable block initialized with begin keyword, as you can see. Now we'll compare the value of these two variables x and y using comparison operator through the if condition. If x is greater than y, then z equals to x. As here we want to find a maximum number, so accordingly we have assigned the value. Right, x is greater than y, then z equals to x, else z equals to y. End of if condition, return z. End of our function. Begin section. Begin section initialized. A equals to 23, B equals to 45 and C equals to, we'll call the function find max from these two numbers 23 and 45. dbms underscore output dot put line, this will print the value of C. This is a different example than the previous one. Here you can see that in previous example we have defined one standalone function. Right, this is called standalone function. Why? It is not covered in our PL/SQL block. Right, in this example, example number 59, you can see that function is also defined inside our PL/SQL block. So this is not a standalone function. Right, you can make it separate, you can define it separately like this. You can cut this code and define it separately, and then you can call this function inside your PL/SQL block. Whatever way you want to choose, you can do it. One more topic left behind, that is PL/SQL recursive function. Obviously here we will take an example of factorial. All of you know that what is factorial, right? So let us try to understand the example of recursive function through the same example. Here we have seen that a program or subprogram may call another subprogram. When a subprogram calls itself, it is referred as a recursive call, and the process is known as a recursion. To illustrate the concept, let us calculate the factorial of a number. Here you can see the program to calculate the factorial of a given number by calling itself recursively. Declare section begin, num and factorial. These are two variables defined in declaration section, as well as the function with name fact is also defined under the declaration section. As you can see, function fact x number, return number. We want to return a value of data type number, right? So return data type is specified with the term number. Is f is our return variable, right, whose data type must match with the return data type specified over here. Both are same. Now begin section will compare the value of x with 0. Here also logic will remain same as you have done in your C programming language, right? So I'll not explain you the logic behind it. If x equals to 0, then f equals to 1. If the entered number is 0, then factorial is 1. Else f equals to x into fact x minus 1. As you can see here, the fact is a name of this function, okay, which is calling itself inside it, right? The function is calling itself inside it, right? This is the concept you have already applied in your C programming language. End of the if condition, return f, and end of our function. You have to just notice this thing only, how to call the function inside the same function. That's it. Begin. Our PLSQL block begin with the keyword begin, right? Number equals to 6, as here we want to find the factorial of 6. We'll call the fact function on the next line. Factorial equals to fact into bracket, will pass the number. Here will pass num, as you know that 6 is stored in this variable, so we want to find the factorial of this number, right? So here I have passed num as a parameter in this function. Now dbms output line, factorial of 6 is factorial. What is this factorial? This is the name of variable, right, which we have specified on this line, selected line. And which value come in this variable? Whatever value will be returned through the fact function will be assigned to this variable, right? So that we want to print on the next line to get the result. So let us execute our code through the SQL window. Here we got the output, right? You can even make it dynamic by using ampersand sign. So every time you can change this value. Here I am changing. I want to find the factorial of 4, so I have done some changes in my program, or we can say PLSQL block, right? We got the factorial of 4 is 24. So here in this session we have discussed all about functions, right? In the next session I will cover package specification. Do all the examples in your journals. The examples given as a do it yourself, that too you try to perform, right? Which is exactly same as the examples done in today's session. So hope you will do it yourself. Now note down all these examples in your journals properly. Keep your journals up to date. Take care. I'll soon see you soon in the next session. Thank you.